And welcome back live from the Dignity Health Studio. It's the Baco Motorsports Power Hour. We're brought to you by Budweiser, a sign factory in Bakersfield, California, where we've been covering motorsports since the beginning. We've got special guests in the studio. Griff, I was supposed to ask you about news and notes last deal, but I didn't do it because I didn't really.
We can go on news and notes. Chris Dalton won at Kern County Raceway Park.
There you go. That's a segue.
There you go.
I was going to let Blake tell that particular part of the story, but there you go. Well, they had new tires. Blake?
Well, yeah, it was a great night out there at Kern County Raceway, and we're going to show you guys the highlights of what was a pretty exciting night with Supermoto. We had a guy take a header. We had Chris Dalton get his first career late model win. Let's take a look at those highlights now. We started out the night with our 9/11 tribute. We had 9 different agencies that supported us for that, and a great American flag presentation from the Bakersfield Fire Department. And we had Bakersfield Police, Kern County Fire, Kern Sheriff, the Probation Department, Taft, Shafter, Hall Ambulance, and the Highway Patrol. I think I covered them all. And, they also run our 911 series. So for the opening ceremonies, we ran the 911 series cars next to their respective agencies' vehicles.
Oh, that's just cool. Oh, there's the Supermoto.
And now we're going Supermoto racing. We do 2 races, the pro and the amateur. The races were very close and competitive, both of the events. In the amateur race, they had a 5-bike lead pack for most of the race. And then the race was abbreviated when we had the rider Scott Nanamura on the KTM came off the bike and went down pretty hard. And it took a few minutes to get him off the racetrack, and we had to transport him to Mercy Southwest with a concussion. But he's already looking forward to the next race. He's already called us and said, "I'm ready to go." So there he is down on the tarmac, and it was kind of a scary scene, but our safety crew and Hall Ambulance was on the case right away. So the amateur race was abbreviated and was won by the veteran Ernie Lyles. And now we go into the pro race, and look at this is Casey Yarrow. That's on the first lap, making a bonsai pass.
Wow.
To me, that's one of those things where you see a big crash, and I think he thought, I'm going to take advantage of that and race hard, because I think there were some guys that were probably a little bit nervous. That was in the exact same corner where the other guy had gone down. So I think Yarrow, the veteran from up north, kind of took advantage of that.
Supermoto will make you nervous.
Yeah, it makes
I tried
us
that
nervous.
once.
Yeah,
Once. Never again.
It's nerve-wracking. We crowned our first back-to-back KCRP champion, the 51 of Tyler Bannister. He took his time. He's always very good at doing that, and he gets his 8th win of the year. They still have a race to go, but he is mathematically the champion for the Bandos.
And he's already getting the girls.
Oh, he's already getting the girls, and he's already got a Legends car. So this kid's going to try to see how far he can go in auto racing, and I think he will go pretty far. These 2 cars got hooked together, and it took some time to get Dylan Baker and Eric Aldridge unhooked. As you see the battling there, Randy Smith, the points leader in the mini stocks, taking over second. He tried every which way to get around the mountain man, Terry Pettit, but Terry Pettit in that new car, that new Acura, gets the win. And with 2 races to go, the points are still up for grabs in that series. All right, the Spec Modifieds, where Chris Dalton is our points leader, and he still has to take the green flag in the finale to win the championship, but it's basically his. As the 17 of Johnny White and that 25 of Gary Dutton have the newer race car factory cars. They started at the back of the field and made their way to the front and had a pretty entertaining battle with Chris Dalton right there in third, and White and Dutton were doing a lot of moving around on the straightaway, kind of reminiscent of Harvick and Larson. Big slide there from Johnny White. And Chris, of course, you had a front row seat for all this. And side by side down the back straightaway. And finally, White gets it done on the outside and takes the lead and takes the win on the Spec Modifieds. It was his 2nd win this year. He won a few weeks ago, but he was disqualified. So really, he's about 3 for 3 if you want to look at it that way. 911 series. And this series...
Wow.
You can still spin.
That was quick.
You can spin and you can win. This is a very tight racetrack for these guys with open wheels. These are all of our firefighters, police officers. They don't really have a lot of racing experience. Well, that was Shafter and Detective Stevens. Well, he was just one by one picking them off after that spin and was able to make his way back through the field. And there he is in second. Solo spin right there for Bakersfield Fire, tough break. And Shafter PD was able to make his way through and pick up the victory. So that's 3 wins this year for Shafter. And Shafter is in the points lead now. All right, final race of the night. And then you can jump in when you want to on this one, Chris. As Chris Dalton, there he is in the 5, taking the lead.
Did you jump that start?
No. He's not Greg Pursley. Don't worry. 81, Hoot Gibson, new driver at the racetrack, and he already has a nickname. Hoot goes for a spin on the front straightaway. So it seemed to me, at least, that in the modified race, Chris, you guys were kind of rolling the top quite a bit, and you kind of translated that to the late models.
Yeah, I learned a little something in 1 and 2 running the high line. There's a lot of grip up there, and you try to go down low, and there's not so much. So I was going to give anybody a chance to pass me on the bottom. If they could pass me, they can have it.
And you see the 51 of Racing Vernon, the 22 of Buddy Shepard. You're racing those young bucks.
Oh, they're young kids. That made me nervous, but both of them race with a lot of respect.
And so it was a pretty long race-long battle between Dalton and Buddy Shepard. But
Like
Dalton,
Jim Thurkettle out in the front there.
yeah, in the car 5, there
Yeah.
were some comments about that.
Timex Chevrolet.
There you go. So Chris Dalton, the police officer, getting your win on 9/11 night. That had to be pretty special for you.
Yeah, it actually was pretty cool to do it on the 9/11 tribute, just to honor all the people that were lost. You know, a lot of people don't think about the wives, the husbands, the daughters, the sons of the men and women that were lost in 9/11, and they're the ones that are still suffering to this day.
So it was about 1,000,000 degrees out there, and that's a technical term.
It was hot.
And you were running 2 classes. How difficult was that?
It's all a matter of perspective. I mean, it was hot, but once you're in the car, you don't even think about it. You're just out there trying to do all you can to stay up front.
It hits you later when that adrenaline goes away, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, what did I just do to myself?
Well, we had to pull rear end gears after the race, and as I was laying underneath that car, I think I dozed off once or twice. I was just tired.
Well, and then the crazy thing about our spec modified class is, we're up to 12 cars now. We have a lot of inexperience out there, and you guys went caution free.
Yeah, no, the class all year long has ran that way. I can't even think of one car that we've tore up. Everybody races each other with respect, and you got some wild men out there like Gary Dutton and Johnny White that throw caution into the wind and just pass cars at will. And I'm a little more cautious, a little more careful. But we had something for Johnny White and Gary this weekend, and I made a mistake and didn't put a right rear tire on it, and we burned it off. So that was the 5th race for that set of tires. So it's time to
I'm sorry, Chris, what was that? Oh, we have some information. Let's say, what do we got? Oh, there we look at there.
Yeah.
Check out the monitor.
We're busy out at Kern County Raceway.
Holy
and
cow.
Are you guys going to run a late model this week, or are you guys going to
No,
take a
I'm
break?
going to take a break this week.
But you guys will have your super stock out there with your teammate Bailey Thompson.
Yeah, Bailey Thompson will be out there with Shane.
So we got our Sitco lubricant late models. It's the finale for the wheeling points. So when they're going for state and national points, Brian Richardson will probably end up second if he can have a good night. Tony McRae down at Irwindale broke a shifter and didn't even start the second race. So a big hit for her in the points. So we'll have twin 35s for the state points. And then also the super stocks, which is an awesome class. If you love the old Mesa Marin cars with Fife and all those guys battling, and our legends, our mini stocks, and our mini dwarfs. And then September 27th, Godzilla is going to be in the infield at Kern County for our drive-in movie with Centertain. It'll raise money for a couple of different charities, and that'll be coming up on the 27th.
I just saw that lineup there for that next Saturday. That's a bunch of different classes, man.
Yeah, we've been running about 7 to 8 main events every week now the last couple of weeks, so we don't really even do trophy dashes. You get there at 6 o'clock for autographs. We go green at 7, and it is just balls to the wall until about 10:30.
Well, it'd have to be to get all that. How do you keep all that stuff on schedule, man?
It's an exciting night, and it's a busy night. And when you're a guy like Chris going double duty, it's very busy.
Yes, it is. I was just glad they had a race in between, so I didn't have to go from one to the other. I had a little break.
Chance to sit there and drink 5 bottles of Gatorade and climb back in that car again.
And we always do the autograph session, so we always say, look, get there early. You can meet the drivers. But also at our event coming up on September 27th, we'll have race cars out there, and we'll have drivers and bounce houses, and it's going to be a whole big festival. We're raising money for 2 different groups, the Dreams and Hope for Children, kind of a Make-A-Wish style deal, and then Thumbs Up Cancer Down, which is Kevin Charrette's deal for cancer. We'll have both those groups raising money out there, and then bring your car, bring your FM radio, and watch Godzilla on a 30-foot screen under the stars.
What if you're Griffith? You only have the AM radio in your car.
Well, you'll have to just read the lips. It'll be a silent movie
What's
for
this
you.
FM stuff?
Frequency modulator.
I
What?
don't understand it.
He's got one of those radios that's about this big in his car. That's there's back to the super. Yeah, that's the scariest kind of motorcycle racing. When you're trail braking a dirt bike on pavement, that's unnatural.
Yeah, and especially that corner where the guy went down. That you're backing it in there, and this is setting up for the ski jump. That's how close that amateur race was.
Wow.
I mean, and look, just about all of them have GoPros, so they're getting some spectacular video for us. So, and so many different bikes because you got a Suzuki out there, 2 Hondas, a Kawasaki. There's a KTM, a Husqvarna. Every bike you can think of is represented in our field, so that makes it fun as well.
And this is 2 races this year, and you're going to have a few more next season, right?
We'll go once a month next year at least.
Now, these are guys,
full-time.
especially in the amateur class, these are guys that just race other kinds of. They just take their 450s and put the big brakes and the small tires on them and get with the program.
Yeah, it's that's the biggest thing is those guys at like Fred Cummings and at Valley Cycle are really busy because these guys are all coming by ordering wheels. I mean, we've already had about 30 guys race with us, and this is it's been about 8 years, so this is all new for a lot of these guys.
I'm thinking maybe Chris Dalton should try that.
I think you would.
No, Dalton stays on 4 wheels. I used to race flat track quads, and I tried the dirt bikes one time, and 2 wheel. I stay on 4.
One thing I want to ask you before our segment is over is speaking of radio stuff is we run the Receiver one-way radios, and you have a spotter in your other ear. How do you deal with having all that going on inside the helmet?
Oh, I just listen to my spotter. Paul Smith's been with me all year long, and he's done a great job with the modifieds and the late models. Spotters are so important in pavement racing to make sure you're not cutting somebody off or you're giving somebody room that's underneath you. This year, everybody's done a great job. We haven't torn up a lot of stuff at all, very little.
Yeah, I mean, you're racing with a 15-year-old for 20, 30 laps side by side, and you guys made it out.
I was waiting to get the bumper, and I never got it. I was waiting for it. I was expecting it.
It's amazing with our racetrack. It was 100 degrees when they qualified. When they raced, it was about 80. And Buddy Shepard out-qualified Chris by 0.7 of a second, which is a ton. And Chris won the race because the track just kind of evolves. And can you explain for the listeners kind of how that can happen?
Oh yeah, it seems like the groove's getting higher and higher in 1 and 2 compared to 3 and 4. It's just the rubber is building up on the track, and there's so much more traction up on the top side than there is down on the bottom. And wherever you can find grip on the tracks, where you can put the hammer down and make up your ground. And there's not a lot of traction on the bottom right now. And so if you try to get up underneath someone, you got to have a really good handling car to get around someone on the bottom.
And you just happen to have a really good handling car. We got to take a break. We will be right back. You're watching and/or listening to the Motorsports Power Hour right here from Dignity Health Studios, and we'll be right back after this.